Hello everybody, today we're going to be talking about gaining weight. So no one ever talks about gaining weight, they only talk about losing it. We live in a world that it's just, diet culture, what you have to do to lose 5 pounds, how to look amazing in 30 days. Or even the people that kind of talk about it in a more long-term sense, they still talk about losing the weight that you've gained. Well, recently, in this past year or so, I've put on some weight. And this has been weight gain and loss has been a constant struggle that I've been dealing with my entire life. And I just figured, it's time to open up and start talking about it. There's such a stigma about women and their bodies. And yes, the world is becoming this place where women have all of this empowerment and they support who they are and how they look. And that's great. I love that women feel comfortable and empowered to do that. And they should. But no one ever talks about what brings that on. Why did you gain the weight? Why are you the weight that you are? Are there medical reasons? Is it emotional? What really went on for this to happen? I think in order to lose any weight, you really have to come to terms with the fact of why you gained it to begin with. I think acceptance is the first step to actually losing it and being happy. If you constantly deny your state of weight or where it came from or why you gained it, then you're never going to be able to get past it in a psychological way. You're never going to be able to lose that weight because you haven't really owned up to the fact that you had the weight to begin with. So let's talk a little bit about my weight gain and my weight journey. So I've always been overweight. I was my most overweight when I was a young teen, preteens, and into my teenage years. And then as I kind of got towards graduating college, I lost a lot of that weight. And I kept it off pretty well. And then as I went into my younger 20s, I gained a lot of weight actually when I moved out because, cardboard pizza and chips every night sounds great when you're 19. But then I really started to get my weight under control. I lost a lot of weight. I was going to the gym regularly. I was eating good food and I lost a bunch of the weight. From my top weight, I probably lost about 70 pounds. And that was really impressive for me. I was really ecstatic about that and I felt really good. So I know what that feels like. You know what it feels like when your body is working for you and when you don't have the aches and the pains of carrying more weight than you're used to. I was still not thin, but I was healthy. I'm a larger person. I'm always going to have some weight on me, but I was healthy. And then 2017 happened. There was a lot of family dynamics. There was a lot of emotional eating, a lot of binge eating. I took out a lot of my frustrations, my loneliness, and just in general life on food. So my family was going through a really hard time. We had a restaurant that we all worked together as a family at, and the restaurant closed on us in December of 2017. So this doesn't sound detrimental for you, but it was detrimental to my family. And watching my parents and my sister go through this tough financial situation, not to mention my own financial situation, it was really difficult. And I ate a lot. I stress ate. I did not go to the gym. I wasn't working out. I lost everything that kind of was who I was. And it took me a few months to even realize that I was packing on the weight. So I put on the weight back in June of 2017. That's when it started, and it was slow for the first 6 months. And then we hit December and January and February, and everything just kind of hit the fan, let's say. And it was really difficult. I really struggled, and it was not fun. So I kept making this proclamation to myself that when my boyfriend came back from college, because we were in a long distance relationship, that when he came back from college, I was going to have a healthy lifestyle, and that together we were going to have this really healthy lifestyle and live really well. And, I just had to get to December, and that's when he would be back and we could do this together. But what ended up happening was that he came back and he was in the process of getting a job, and I was in the process of changing jobs, and I was in a bad financial situation. He was in a bad financial situation. We ate a lot of bad food, and then once we started getting money underneath us, we celebrated. And we didn't celebrate with, clothes or anything like that. We celebrated with food. So when we would have a really good time or a really good night, or something exciting would happen, we would get a promotion at work, or we would get a new job, we would always celebrate with food. So my life just centered around food, and I actually ended up gaining 20 more pounds on top of what I had already gained from stress eating in just what I could only describe as joy eating and comfort eating. It was just eating because I could and because I was happy. And that has brought me to where I am now. I'm up again, where one of my highest weights, definitely my highest weight as well, almost, but I'm right around the same point as my highest weight that I've ever been as an adult. And that is hard, you see yourself and you see your clothes and you remember all the good times of shopping when you were a smaller size, and you just kind of wish that you were that size again. You're like, what happened? Why did this happen to me? Gaining the weight actually caused some negative aspects in my body, as you would expect it to. My joints started hurting again, my back started hurting. I got a new job where I've been sitting at a desk a lot more, and that was a big change for me. All my body just seems to be a little bit stiff and off, and my menstrual cycle has been off, and my hormone levels have been off, and that's all due to the weight gain. So that's the negatives of it, okay? That's the negatives of gaining weight. You have to figure out why you're gaining the weight. You really have to come to terms with the fact that you are emotionally eating, or you are binge eating. Maybe you're one of those people that eats really well for breakfast, and for lunch you have a salad, and then you have a smoothie for a snack, and you come home and then you eat everything in sight. You binge eat the night away. I've been there, been there, done that. It's not fun, but that can happen too. And you just kind of have to find why this is happening to you. Maybe you're gaining weight because of a body issue. Maybe you have a thyroid issue, or maybe there's something you need to get tests done and you just haven't done that. You really need to come to the bottom of why you're actually gaining the weight. It all starts up here, and that's the problem, because everyone thinks I can just count calories and it'll be fine. And you're right, you probably will lose some weight by eating 1,400 calories a day, but you're not going to keep it off. And it's going to be a struggle. You're going to have a really hard time, and it's going to be mentally draining. You need to come to terms with it in your mind, and you need to be confident with yourself no matter what weight you're at. And I don't necessarily mean that in a wear a bikini at the beach every day type of situation. I'm talking about it in a you need to be happy in the body that you're in, because this is a piece of your life. This is a blip of your life. And no matter what you do, it's going to be remembered. This is a year or more of your life, and yes, you can fix it, but you need to kind of get there first. So how am I trying to remedy the situation? I made a slogan for 2018. And the beginning of 2018 was not very good. So this slogan came around in about April of 2018. And my 2018 slogan was fresh everything. So fresh mind, fresh body, fresh perspective, fresh food, really focusing on fresh, going to farmers markets, or going and only shopping in the produce section, or not even going grocery shopping every week, but just using everything that's in your cabinets, reducing the waste, realizing that you have so much food sitting around that can really change things. You can eat all of that on a daily basis, and it's probably a lot healthier than going out and getting Chinese every week. I also have tried to convince myself that I've done this before. I've been here, I've done this. It was hard and it took a lot of time, and it wasn't immediate by any means, but you have to do it if you want to do it. That's the thing about weight loss, is you have to just do it. You just have to do it, you know? It's Nike has a great slogan because just do it is the definition of everything in your life. You can think about things, you can all day long you can think about things. You can prepare, you can get great clothes and a water bottle and tell yourself, oh, I'll go tomorrow. But the actual doing it, that's the hard part. And the more you actually do it, the more you convince yourself to actually do it, the more it'll actually happen and the results will actually come. That's the hard part. It also really helped me to make a limit on spending money instead of going out to eat. So instead of saying you shouldn't be eating Chinese food every Friday, I say I shouldn't be spending that money on Chinese food every Friday. And that way, I'm not putting the negativity on the food. I'm not further reprimanding a negative relationship with food because I already have a negative relationship with food. I already binge eat and eat too much and all of this. You have to really have a positive relationship with food, and that's what I've been trying to fix. So how do you be confident when you're overweight and when you're upset and you've gained weight recently and you just feel defeated and gross? So here are a couple of things that I do. Number one, choose one thing per day that is positive. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be anything, anything under the sun. But when you get up in the morning and you put on one of your favorite shirts and you realize it no longer fits, okay, because you've gained weight in the past few months and you just haven't worn it, and you get frustrated and you start getting really upset. This happens to me. I go to special events and I realize, wow, that dress that I was planning on wearing doesn't fit me anymore. I have to buy a new dress. And it hurts because you put on that dress and you're so used to wearing that dress that it's hard to really see how your body has actually changed. Number two, I like to write my feelings in a journal. So I'm not the type of person that gets up at 5:30 in the morning and does my daily pages. I think that's great for a lot of people and I think that it really helps them. But what I do is I keep a little journal in my desk at work, and on my lunch or maybe in between a phone call to a client or something like that, I take it out and I just write down how I'm feeling really quick. I mean, these are like one page sprawled out, just words sometimes they're little doodles, whatever it needs to be. And it really helps me focus my emotion because I know that I emotionally eat. So if I'm kind of in touch with my emotions, if I know that I'm upset, but I'm upset because of an argument I had with my boyfriend or because a client was really rude to me, I'm not immediately going to go and buy a cookie because I can. You know, I work right on the strip and there's 20,000 things that I can go and I can get. But it's better if I just stay in my office, write down my frustrations, and then move on with my day. Number three, remember that this is just a blip in your life. I mentioned this earlier. This is just a day, okay? You have a lot of days, but you also don't have a lot of days. Regardless, this is just one of those days. And if you don't want to feel like this tomorrow, you need to make the difference today. It is what it is. You know, if you feel really bad about yourself today, then you just need to make a change or you need to come to terms with that. Number four, focus on the things in your life that aren't weight related. It's really easy to get up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, wow, I look like crap, or wow, my joints really hurt, or something along those lines. So how do you be confident when you are 50 pounds heavier than you used to be and you're worried that everyone's judging you and you're worried that you're just the fat girl? Focus on something non-weight related. Maybe you're really good at makeup. Maybe you did an awesome cut crease today and you're going to rock it. Focus on that. Don't think about anything else. Don't even think about your outfit. Just think about your cut crease. Or maybe you are an outfit person. Maybe you love clothes. Maybe you're wearing a pair of killer heels that you think look awesome. Don't think about the rest of yourself. Just think about how awesome you look in those heels. Or maybe you got a compliment at work today. Think about that. Focus on the positive things in life rather than the negatives. Stop drowning yourself in your weight. And slowly you'll realize that you're a lot more confident. This isn't flawless. This isn't foolproof. You will have really bad days. For me, the worst days are when I'm going to a special event, or I have to see somebody that I haven't seen in a long time, or I'm going to dinner with my boyfriend or something like that, and I just want to look good. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to wear the clothes that I have. And what I realize is that they don't fit. I look stupid. I am uncomfortable and I'm miserable. And then I just throw a fit for half an hour before we leave. Guess what? I always find something to wear, and I just have to get on with it. It's not a good way to live where you're constantly being negative about these things. You really have to make a positive impact in your brain, because that's how you move forward. I'm not talking about weight loss in this video. I'm not telling you how to lose the weight. I'm talking about how to trick yourself into being positive and not making your weight the center of your life. It is a factor. It is always going to affect you, but you need to not let it focus so hard on this one piece in your life. You need to focus on the big picture. And that brings me to my last point. This is a marathon, not a sprint. We've heard this before. You just have to be aware of yourself and your body and your progress, and you just have to kind of find your inner peace. Once you find your inner peace, you will level off on the weight gain, and then you can start on the weight loss. But finding the reason why you're gaining the weight to begin with is really important. You need to find the root of the problem, and a lot of the times it is not weight related. A lot of the times it goes deeper than that. Sometimes you might need a counselor to help you, or you might need to talk to your significant other or your family, somebody that can help you through finding what the actual problem is. But once you do, that will really help and will bring you a peace of mind that you can really struggle with from day to day. I wish you luck on everything in your life, and I wish you luck on your weight loss journey or your weight gain journey. Sometimes we see a glass half empty, and sometimes we see a half glass full. And this is one of those half glass full type of days. We need to make the positive out of things, and we need to own up to who we are and then focus on how to change it. I love you all. Have a great day.